Hi everyone and welcome to Unit Review. We're your hosts, Jack
and Dan.
Today we're going to be talking about the pinnacle of Necrons, the Silent King.
Yep, Szarekh himself.
Absolute beast.
Yeah, beautiful model. A great paint job by you.
Thank you.
On this.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Let's dive straight in. Now there's a lot to talk about on
There
this
is
guy.
so much done.
Controversy as well in terms of the player base. I think he's very much either you love him or you hate him at the moment.
It's very true there. Yeah, there was no clear there's no middle ground. It was literally all the time or never.
Yeah.
What is this model? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
But yeah, there is lots to talk about on this one. So Dan, stat block, mate.
Stat block, he's got a move of 8, which is respectable. He's toughness 10, which is great. He's very tanky.
Yeah.
This is enhanced with his 2+ save, and he's obviously got a 4-up invuln.
Nice.
He's got 16 wounds, leadership of 6+, and an OC of 6.
Very nice. But that's not it.
No. So the Triarchal Menhir as well has a movement of 8, toughness of 10, 2-ups and 4-up saves again. They've got 5 wounds each, 6+ leadership and an OC of 1. So the unit altogether has an OC of 8, which is pretty tasty.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's matching some battle line units that are out there in terms of the Imperial Knights. So
yes,
I mean, immediately the stat block, I think it's a solid stat block. I think he's again, as you mentioned, he's a very cool looking model. And I think it just the abilities, not the abilities, sorry, the stat block just mirrors that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Unit composition is you obviously can't take. He's an epic hero, isn't he?
Hero.
Named
He
character
is.
effectively. So
certainly is. So this unit, it's free models. It costs 420 points. Blaze it. So basically, sorry, that just clicked there, has it?
Yeah, I was about a second behind it. I'm like, right.
So basically, so Szarekh, basically, he's equipped with the Scepter of the Eternal Glory, the Staff of Stars, and his melee profile is the Weapons of the Final Triarch.
Nice.
Such good names.
Yeah,
he's the names have been reserved for this fella, and he absolutely deserves it. The unit also consists of the 2 Menhirs. There we go. They are equipped with the fantastic name, the Annihilator beam,
and does live up to its name, doesn't it? Yeah,
it honestly, it certainly does. It's such a good looking. I mean, again, the models are looking so good, but complemented by their names. But worth mentioning that when it is damaged between wounds 1 of 6, it is -1 to hit. Now that is only the Szarekh model. So when those Menhirs, there we go. When they are below, their 5 wounds or whatever, doesn't matter at all. It's worth mentioning.
They're relentless.
They are. They absolutely are.
Good.
But yes, so there's that one. Dan, keywords.
Yeah, keywords. Obviously, he's Necrons because he's a king. He's a vehicle. He's an epic hero, as I touched on before. He's obviously a character, and he's got the Silent King keyword. So nothing that you wouldn't expect there.
No, which is again really nice. Weapons side of things. So again, talking about the Annihilator beam, which we'll talk about first. So that is a 24-inch range. They have 1 attack, but there's 2 of them, so technically 2.
Yeah.
They are hitting on 2s, strength 14, which is massive, -4, massive, and damage flat 6. I love seeing a flat 6.
It's so sexy.
It's so good. I think there used to be a 9th, used to be D6,
yes,
+1 or something like that, but having a flat 6 to me is just better.
All in 9th, we were an early edition codex, and almost all the damage on our anti-tank was D6, and by the end of the edition, it was rubbish.
It was just compared to everyone else
was like D3 +6.
Which is just so sad, so sad.
Yeah.
But yes, so also equipped with the Scepter of the Eternal Glory. This has devastating wounds. Again, it's 24-inch range, has 2 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 10, -3 and 3 damage. So
that's good.
Terminator killers.
Yeah,
I'd see those ones as, which is really nice. Finishing them off with a Staff of Stars. This is an indirect fire weapon.
Nice.
So 24-inch range, 12 attacks, hitting on 2s or 4s if this unit can't see the enemy unit. Strength 6, -1 and 1 damage. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's got the capability of going against anything.
Yes.
Vehicles.
Very good all-rounder, yeah.
Again, finishing off with the melee profiles then. So he's got the Armored Bulk. It is 1 attack, probably 2 attacks because you have the Menhirs. And then is hitting on 4s, strength 4, 0 AP and 1 damage.
Yeah, the Menhirs are not meant to be in combat.
Yeah, don't get them in.
The Silent King is markedly better.
Yeah, massively better.
Yeah.
So they're obviously in melee, the Silent King or Szarekh. His weapons is the Weapons of the Final Triarch. It has lethal hits, 12 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 8, -3, and 2 damage.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
pretty meaty profile when it comes to the weapon side of things.
Yes, he's taking out almost anything apart from really tough vehicles and monsters.
Yeah,
weapon wise, he's fantastic.
Those annihilator beams when they pop, that's just so you literally get rid of tanks immediately.
Yeah,
and then obviously Saracens then probably picking up some units, some elite units, but then also some chaff units as well with the indirect.
Yeah,
got some
it's
good
one
ways.
of those occasions where you can probably split fire and get some good results. You can't guarantee anything with dice, but you're looking at the likelihood of good results.
Yep, definitely.
But he's also got some really tasty abilities as well, hasn't he?
He's got loads of abilities. So Dan, do you want to just start off?
I mean, let's start with the negatives first of all. He's got Deadly Demise and it's D6 +3, which is fitting for Szarekh. He should blow up and hurt you.
He should blow up and hurt. Yeah, it's pretty funny when that pops as well.
Yes. His other ability is Silent King. This one's great. When a friendly Necron unit is within 6 inches of this unit's Szarekh model, so it has to be within 6 inches of the actual model, not the Menhirs.
Not the Menhirs,
but you can improve that leadership characteristic by 1. And Battle Shock is real. So, for holding those objectives or whatever, this is very, very helpful.
Really is.
He's also got Voice of the Triarch. At the start of the battle round, select 1 Triarch ability, which I'll talk through, and then until the start of the next battle round, the unit has this ability. So there are 3 of these to choose from. You get Pharaon of the Stars, which is an aura. While a friendly Necron unit is within 6 inches of this unit's Szarekh model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can re-roll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. This one's really popular. Alternatively, you can pick Pharaon of the Blades. While a friendly Necron unit is within 6 inches of the Szarekh model, you can re-roll charge rolls made for that unit. And each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, it gets +1 strength. So that's not bad.
Nope.
And the last one is Bringer of Unity. While a friendly Necron unit is within 6 inches of Szarekh, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the characteristics of models in that unit and to any roll or test made for models in that unit, excluding modifiers to saving throws. So AP still counts against you, but nothing else does.
Yep.
This one is big. Like, ignore modifiers is big.
It's very good. Yeah, I mean, those abilities by themselves do stand out pretty nicely.
Yeah.
I guess my only vibe against it is that it sucks that that's all you can, like, it would be nice to see more abilities on them. I feel like those abilities are good, but you can only pick one of them. And
I mean, I think in my experience, you're almost always picking the ignore mods.
Yeah.
If your opponent, if it's the things you're targeting, the units next to him are targeting don't have any modifiers at all, which is unusual, then maybe you take the reroll ones instead. But normally something, I mean, you're talking about ignoring modifiers like cover, for example.
Yeah.
It's really quite powerful.
Maybe I'm just not using it rightly, which can happen.
We'll come on to that. Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's obviously he's got reanimation protocols as well before we move on.
Yeah,
you would expect that, so he can reanimate D3 wounds. I would just say very quickly that is really useful with the Menhirs because they count as like when you kill a Menhir, if you reanimate D3 wounds, if the king's already on full wounds, you can bring a Menhir back.
You certainly can.
Yeah.
And that's obviously again with the other Menhir. If you roll 3 wounds and it's got 2 wounds taken off, then 2, and then obviously that one goes up to full, then that one comes back with 1.
Well, so that's really, really good.
Yeah.
So be aware of that one and think about ways to stack reanimation for that unit as well if you can.
Definitely.
Good.
Stratagem wise, not a lot with this guy. I think his abilities do make it so that he can stand alone, but stratagem wise, there weren't a lot that would kind of benefit with him. The main one, which a lot of people are probably sick of us talking about, Cosmic Precision. So again, the reason why I like this one to get them, you want to get the most out of this unit. So you want to be able to basically popping tanks left, right, and center, and obviously the Menhirs will do that, but you need to get them in the right place. And with 24-inch range, it seems like a lot, but tanks will be hiding, especially those big ones like Tau. They'll be sitting back 48-inch range. They'll be laughing. So using Cosmic Precision to basically get them where they need to be. I say Cosmic Precision because it's quite a big unit. The base sizes are quite large, so getting them in the right spot can be difficult. So using Cosmic Precision just to secure that spot will basically do the punch.
Yeah, so Cosmic Precision allows you to deep strike outside of 3 inches instead of outside of 9.
Yep.
Which it's very, very powerful. It gives you those angles, but also late game, if he's still alive, you can steal objectives because we've already talked about his OC of 8.
Yep.
You can drop in to tow onto an objective, and he will absolutely delete whatever is on that objective.
Yeah.
It's almost guaranteed that he's going to kill it with all the firepower he's got.
It's so much in there. Yeah, it's so good.
This one I hadn't really thought about because the way I would play him would be more to castle up, which we'll come on to, but actually using him mid or late game for those to delete those key enemy units or to steal objectives to gain those points. It's big.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
So that takes us on to how best to play him, I guess, does it?
It certainly does. Now, I've already kind of jumped the gun on that one because I was too excited to talk about basically using this model as much as I can.
Yeah.
So just a quick roundup. Yeah, cosmic precision, basically get him in those the best positions to take out those tanks because, I mean, again, he could take out anything realistically, but, you want to be putting the minions to work with that, flat 6 damage, 12 wounds. It's like a rhino a turn. And then obviously Gravis tank possibly might take out with the other shooting that he has, at least taking them out to a point.
Yeah, if you can get eyeballs on a couple of targets, you're probably going to put some work in.
Yeah.
And it also, like you said, the point sink that he is at 420 points.
Yes.
You want to be getting at least 4 turns out of shooting out of him if you can, don't you?
Exactly.
Maximize that value.
You do. You really, really do. But yeah, I think you obviously mentioned about the castle. Do you want to talk about the castling him up?
Yeah, castling him up. So you can castle him up with a Technomancer and a Reanimator. That means that you're regaining effectively 3d3 wounds.
Yeah.
So you can kind of play a little bit. Obviously, don't just put him in front of everything and go,
come get me.
Yeah, 15 las cannons go in and he's dead.
Oh, he's good.
But it makes him an awful lot more resilient.
Yes.
And particularly if you can play a little bit smart, so you're hiding the Technomancer behind him, so there's no line of sight.
Yeah.
You're hiding the Reanimator behind a building or whatever,
Yeah.
or vice versa, So it is... this is where you get into these discussions about the sunk cost fallacy, because if he's 420 points and then you're adding a Technomancer and a Reanimator before you've had anything else, you're north of 500 points already. That's a quarter of your list.
Yeah.
But if that's the way you like to play, if you like to castle up, there's good benefits to that.
Yeah.
And equally, because we'd already talked about his aura abilities, you want to put something next to him that's punchy. So you can put, I don't know, Doomstalkers or maybe it's a Doomsday Arc, something like that. Something that's
and obviously the aura to give them +1 to hit, so they're not suffering from that thing. So they hit on 2s realistically all the time.
Yes. Yeah. And ignoring modifiers, etc. That could be quite powerful. One of the challenges with castling up with is as you already talked about, his base size. Then imagine adding a bunch more units around him to benefit from his auras. On tournament terrain, there just is. I think you're going to struggle to find a spot for him. And also, it's a good opponent will hide from your castle.
Easily done.
You've got a little bit of indirect there, but you can keep. If you've castled him up with a load of anti-tank stuff, for example, if he just stays out of its way, then it can be challenging to make it effective.
Certainly can. The only way to kind of get around that castle is kind of like if you're castling. Let's say you've got these two guys alongside. I don't know. You might want to scrap the Technomancer and the Reanimator for maybe 2. Doomsday Arcs. Alongside, in front of them, you have the Wraiths. So basically, you're moving everyone up together.
Yes.
And then when you get to the middle board, Wraiths go do what they fancy, and then you teleport using maybe the Hypercrypt Legion. The Silent King alongside the Doomsday Arcs to get in those right positions that we're talking about. Because again, tournament terrain, there is places to hide. So getting them in the right positions is always going to be key. So
so it's a challenging one, and I mean, we'll come on to that because. Realistically, he has. When we asked for contributions to this, he has divided the fan base. The player base.
Because for me personally, I've used him a couple of times. Don't get me wrong; he's a fantastic model for fantastic stat block. But it's all about those points. That 420 points for this unit is just. It's not worth it when it comes to points. It's just he's got a lot of punch, but other things do just as not as good punch, but do well.
Yeah.
In his position for a lot less points.
The way 10th plays, it doesn't seem to favour Death Star kind of setups anymore.
No.
And I think that's deliberate because you saw a lot of that kind of Death Star play in 8th and definitely in 9th edition as well. And it seems to favour a more dispersed use of units. So if we're talking about him at 420 and then adding a couple of other things on to make him more resilient or whatever, that's almost too Catan. Could you put in more work with 2 Catan than you probably can?
And we're talking about the Catans with their feeling of pains and half income damage.
4 of England.
It's a hard toss up, isn't it, when it comes to this sort of stuff? I think when we're mentioning it, we asked for like how do people verse this unit, but primarily people are like, well, it's really just about what could we make him better? Like how do we make him better?
Yeah, I mean, it's very quick to talk about, like you said, if he's castled up with those extra reanimation buffs like a Technomancer and the Reanimator, you either have to find ways to take them out and then take him out, or you just ignore him to a certain degree, play around him, hide from him.
You can definitely play around him, because again, you mentioned obviously the Torment Terrain packs, they have plenty of places to hide.
Yeah.
And again, if you're castling, then just avoid it. And I mean, if he goes for one objective, well, there's 2 others you can play with.
And because of the point sink in that castle, if you can take out his other objective holding and point scoring units, you will win the game.
Yeah, easily.
So that's, and I mean, if you do want to kill him, you've just got to put everything into him all at once.
Yeah. Well, if this person's castling, they're gonna be moving up. So it's not like you're not going to be able to get a shot off in the Sand King. And again, he's quite a big model anyway, so you will be able to see him. So realistically, just bide your time. Turn 2 comes around, turn 3 comes around. You'll probably get the majority of your guns targeting them. So just wait.
That's great advice. You've got to bide your time to get all your guns on. There's no point chip damaging him. You've got to get enough guns on to comfortably take him down in one round. Because
if you don't, again, we mentioned the castle will then just we'll just bring him back and all these minions, which isn't good.
Yes, good. But you touched on a great point there before in terms of making this unit better, which was a lively discussion from the contributors of the video. Thank you.
So I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
There was 2 things that were really stood out to me. One, no fly.
Yeah,
he looks like he's fine.
I mean, there's always
gap.
had fly as far as I can remember.
I thought he had fly, and I was checking. I was like, it's not there. It's not on the data sheet, which is weird. But yeah, so again, he's looking at the base size. He's flying. He's got these little powered things floating him up. So that's an odd one. The next one is that he doesn't have the Triarch keyword.
This one boils my piss.
Which everyone in the Necron community thought, it's a mistype. Because they did do that, actually. They missed a few of them off there. And I think the Catan, originally, the Transcendent one, didn't have a keyword that would stop them from doing certain things to like reanimate. I forgot what it was now, but the Transcendent Catan didn't have a keyword. So everyone just thought, they forgot. He's going to come in, yada, yada. But he hasn't. So what that's meant is that we have got the Obeisance Phalanx detachment.
Yeah, the Obeisance Phalanx detachment, which is, this is one of the reasons why it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, because if the Silent Key could be inside of it, it might make it quite.
If you had the Triarch keyword,
Yeah, but again, it's like if we go back up, what was one of the names of the weapons? It had Triarch in, right? Yeah, weapons of the final Triarch.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but there's 2 other There's 2. The Triarch is the 3 rulers basically.
Yeah,
and the other 2 dudes there. The Triarch is literally on the model.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have the Triarch.
It doesn't have the Triarch keyword.
Yeah,
like,
so
why?
You need to fix.
Hold on, get that fixed.
That might help fix Obeisance Phalanx to some degree. There's another unit. I can't remember which one it is, but there's another unit that should have it that doesn't.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, because again, it's just such an. It's just.
I think it might be Triarch Praetorians. I've got in my head.
But no, it's in the name. That's gotta have it.
Someone tell us in the comments.
I've got no idea. Yeah,
but that definitely needs to be done. And but the big discussion point was points cost, wasn't it?
Points cost, absolutely. People have been roughly kind of throwing out numbers, but I think a good medium is like 300 to 350. So knocking off over 100, like just about 100 points.
I mean, it's difficult to say. I think he would be an absolute steal at 350. I've got to be honest. I think he would be an auto include for me at 350. At 300, I think but I might be wrong. But 350, I'll be putting him in my list, and then you get to see exactly what he could do. At 420, and the fact that he fundamentally doesn't really work that well on his own unless you're using him as that kind of cosmic precision type of. For the cosmic precision and hypercrypt, you've got to kind of position him where he can't die each turn. So you're dropping him in somewhere where you can delete a big target, and the clapback isn't going to be sufficient to kill you. Yeah. And then you move and then you do it again. If you can do that, then the 420 points is probably not too bad. But as we've already just discussed, there's probably cheaper ways to do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you agree with them? Do you think like nearer 300 would be better, or?
I personally think like 320. I think, just to knock off 100 points. I think it'd be much better 100 points because, again, the abilities and the auras that he's got, yes, they're good, but like then you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to like, everything. Because, again, 6 inches isn't massive. Again, if we're talking about Doomsday Arcs and such, getting them close when it comes to the Triarch auras, realistically, it's going to be awkward, like, because you need to get them in the right position to shoot. You can get them within 6 inches of the model, but 6 inches of the model and being able to see the target that they need to shoot.
Yes.
That's when it becomes quite hard.
So, firstly, you've no idea the willpower that required to not make a dick joke about 6 inches there. But secondly,
I'm proud of you, Dan. I'm proud of you.
I nearly did it. And secondly, this is the other thing as well. I still don't think this would justify 420 points.
Yeah.
Because he's the Silent King, I think he should have a 12-inch aura.
Yeah, see, that's nice.
And then let's say he was 400 points, 12-inch aura, then we're having an interesting conversation again, I think.
Yeah.
So that's another way to fix it, if you like.
Just maybe increase the benefits that he's got already.
And you made a really good point to round off here in terms of his melee profile as well.
Yeah, so again, back in 9th, he had fights first.
Yes.
Oh no, he didn't have fights first. He had a weird one that basically said everybody else fights last.
Yes, yes.
Which was really confused me when it comes to you have fight first. Well, I've got one that tells you where you fight last. And he's like, well, no, I fight first because I got to fight first. Like, well, no, I'm telling you fight last.
That was it made for lots of fun interactions.
It was the way in which it worked was
fights
weird.
He should have fights first.
I think he should have fights first at least because again, melee profile isn't bad, but it's not amazing if you compare against some of our models that are again 400 for 420
that
points.
Kind of point sync,
Again, because you've got the weapons of the final Triarch, lethal hits. It's a lot of attacks, hang on to strength 8, -3, 2 damage. Not bad, but against bigger units, maybe not the best.
He used to punch harder in previous editions, absolutely. Yeah, in 9th particularly.
So,
that's another way to maybe justify the points. But so there's a lot of nuance there. Let us know in the comments what you think. Should he just have a straight points drop and keep his abilities the same? Should his abilities be improved and the points cost stay the same, or should it be a halfway house?
Definitely.
But that pretty much wraps it up.
Certainly does.
Really enjoyed talking about that one. I'm tempted to bring him out again just to try and make him work, but I think he's too expensive.
I put 20 hours in with a painting him, and I've not used them for a while. Yeah, I've got all I might get a closer picture. I've got the scarabs, like a swarm, like a sea of scarabs along his base. You probably can't pick up on camera, but I'll get a nice high-res image for you. Yeah.
But overall, really interesting discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to whack up the names of the contributors on screen now as well because I had some really interesting comments. Thank you very much. And we'll be back soon with another unit review. Thanks for watching.
Thanks so much.